Hello. It's Friday, and I'm Carolyn. It's time for I was just thinking about this, our weekly Swan Roundup. I think that's what I'm going to start calling it instead of the weekly live. No, it's the weekly Swan Roundup. I love it. How is everybody today? I am introducing myself. I don't know if I always remember to do that, but I realized I need to because we've had some new subscribers lately. So welcome to everyone and welcome to those of you joining. I was just reading some of your comments. I see Ann is here, got lovely weather in California. I think we're up to 80. And Laura, got good weather. Well, you did until the rain came and knocked it back down, apparently. Hello, Ann is here. And who else did I see? Bobby and Karen. Welcome, everybody. And Joe Carroll. And let's see, who else am I missing? Valera. Are all the Pate ladies here? Okay. I'm missing some. Aw, that is Laura's sweet mom. And Diane is here, 37. Oh, that's awfully chilly. It'll be cool, not that cool in Nashville when we go in just a couple weeks. I'm very excited about that for sure. How's everybody doing? Did y'all have a good week? I had a good week. Let's see. Well, I mentioned in the newsletter that I did a lot of catching up in the dye studio. I had a wholesale order for Knitcessities, which I will be delivering tomorrow to Vanessa there, and I'm going to hang out and knit for a little bit. And then, yeah, and I replenished some of the collections. So I'll have those for trunk shows and Nash Yarn Fest and all that good stuff. So it's been a good week here, and I got some knitting done and even a little bit of spinning. I haven't done any spinning in quite some time. So it was nice to get back into that too. Hey, Tish. Yeah, Diane, I think well, I don't know. Tish says 36. I was going to say Diane wins the contest for who's the coldest, but you said a balmy 36, and the sun is shining, so it might feel warmer than Diane's overcast 37. As we know, that makes all the difference in the world. All right. Welcome, welcome. Let me move my stuff aside. I can't knit and chat at the same time. It's too much for my poor little brain to handle. So we do have some things to discuss. For example, Love You Wary. Did you all watch the last movie? So it was Sisterhood Inc., right? And I thought from the trailer, I was like, I don't think I want to be all that impressed. But I actually really liked it. And I don't watch like every Hallmark show. I don't watch every Hallmark movie. But, there's the whole meme about Hallmark Christmas movies, and for a reason, because they tend to kind of follow the same set path in a lot of ways. But what I liked about this movie is that there was some dysfunctionality going on, that, things that they had to work through. And I don't know, it just seemed to me kind of like a nice change of pace. So I actually enjoyed that one. And then I don't know if y'all noticed, apparently in March, they're having a royal, they said it's a royal series. So the very first one, I assume it's the first one. So that would be tomorrow night, I think, is the Royal We, which of course I've dyed a colorway named the Royal We. So that stuck with me. So we'll see how well all those movies go down. I have a tendency, for some reason, Saturday nights, I forget about the movie. And then I remember Sunday. So fortunately, they typically replay whatever premiered Saturday night. They replay on Sunday at like an hour earlier or something like that. I think it comes on at like 7, at least where I am. So I get a second chance to watch them. So that's all good. And then, and by the way, if you're looking for a pattern for Love You Wary colors, check out the post. Karen Sobel did a post in the Swan City Stitchers, and then a second post where she has cast on a project using her 4 colors. So there are some good shawl patterns out there for sure. If you're wanting to, yes, I know. If you're looking for something to knit that with. I do have a lot of bracelets today, but these are my, what are they called? Ugh. They're the rulers. There's a name for them. Anyway, this is my most recent one I got from Knitcessities. So, and then of course I usually have this one on, Karen. That should look familiar to you. I don't know if the rest of you remember this. So Karen and the Tulsa Trio, one year at Christmas, made a 12 Days of Christmas for us. And this bracelet was one of the things. And I love it so much. I wear it because it reminds me of what, it's an important message. It says, what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? I mean, who doesn't need that message imprinted on their brain? So yes, so that's why I wear this bracelet a lot. All right. Hey, Lydia, I'm glad that you made it. All right. And then Tish, well, I'm wearing the Vest of Luck. I forget the designer's name, but it'll pop right up. I don't think there's a bunch of them. It's the Vest of Luck, and it is a color work pattern. Like the designer, I went pretty low contrast, and it goes all the way around. I think if I remember correctly, this particular pattern, somehow my stitch count didn't match up to the color work chart or something. Plus, y'all know that I like to do side decreases, so that it ended up working out well for me. And I think also I'm the only one who had this problem, because I looked at all the finished projects and there were plenty of them and nobody else mentioned this problem. So it was just me, I know. So I ended up cutting off the color work chart at a stopping point on the side and then just repeated it on the back, basically. And that left me on both sides. You can see how it narrows. That's because I did some side decreases. So it ended up working out perfectly, but it was kind of funny that I couldn't get my stitch count right. I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking for, my video should be on Instagram, but I'm not seeing it. So if you're watching on Instagram and making comments, I'm sorry, I can't see them because those comments don't show up here, unlike the YouTube comments. And since the video is not showing up for me on Instagram, even though I connected it, maybe it's not even there. So maybe nobody's even watching on Instagram. I don't know. I'm sorry. Either way, I apologize. Okay, we have a big announcement today. We have a winner. Do we want to announce the winner first of the February Fiber Challenge? Y'all were on it. I loved all of the projects that you did. If you remember, for those of you that don't know, for the February Fiber Challenge, all you had to do was knit basically any project that had some white in it, some purple in it, some red in it, or some pink. So any one of those colors would qualify. So, and y'all like your pink. Oh, Tracy, it's there. Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that, but I can't see any comments. So if you're on Instagram, I'm sorry, I can't see your comments. All right. We don't typically have as many viewers on Instagram anyway, but the prize for those, and if you remember, any picture that you did of a whip or an FO counted as an entry, and you could either post it in the thread or you could post it in the Greater Swan City Stitchers group, and those would count as well. So, and the prize is 2 skeins on the silky sock. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. And then it's stuck in Pride and Prejudice, which was a colorway from last year's Love You Weary. I'm a little sad to see them go. But they're going to a good home because the winner is Carol Wittig. Congratulations, Carol. So it was one of the pictures of her puffle socks, which I love. Very appropriate because I'm going to be knitting the puffle socks as a result of Carol posting those pictures. So congratulations, Carol. I will get these skeins out to you. You are the winner. So that brings us to the March. Oh, so I hit that notification accidentally. Okay, it's you and one other. All right, well, Tracy, you can let me know if they make some comments. Okay, so then I have a picture. This is what you need to look for if you are on social media at all. You may have seen it already if I can find it. There were a lot of whips this week, by the way. I love it. Okay, this is the picture to look for. That, by the way, is a graphic of a lot of hats that I have made in there. There's some berets. There's that lightning hat back there that I made for Bo that he doesn't really wear. I think I'm going to swipe it from him. Anyway, so that post is in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group. So you can look for that for the complete rules if you forget, but I will tell you now. So basically for March, got a little bit more specific. So March project is hats. I'm feeling it for hats, okay? So March is hats, and because it's March and we've got St. Patty's Day, then you got to have some green in there in order for it to qualify. And you don't have to use Swan City yarns. You can use any brand of fiber that you want. You can use any patterns, because hats don't take typically that long. So you can work on multiple hats if you want. Get some early Christmas gift knitting done if you want even. It's a good idea. And let's see. So this time I did do something a little bit different. I said you can post in that thread there. And I've said this before, obviously it's easy to keep track of those there. However, just because of the way that Facebook notifies people, you don't get as much people seeing your projects, which you may not care. I like for people to see your projects because sometimes you inspire others to knit the same project as you. I know that's where most of the projects I knit are because I see somebody else having knit them. And I'm like, oh, I need that. So I am perfectly fine with you posting in the greater group. However, to help me make it easy to find all of the posts, I ask that if you post anywhere besides the thread, and this is the thing that's different, is that you can post anywhere on Instagram and or Facebook. So you in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group at large or any group, but please attach, or even on your personal page, obviously, if you'll just put the hashtag SCS, you know what that stands for? Swan City Stitchers, SCS Hat Challenge. And then that way, when it's time for me to pick a winner, I can quickly search and find all of the projects and then quickly do a random number generator to pick, well, not just projects, but pictures, because every picture counts, just so you know. Yeah, so anyway, but the official rules, because you'll probably forget, I tend to forget, and I'm the one who set up the rules. So we can all be reminded of what the rules are in the group. Look for that thread. I've even pinned it so it should show up always near the top. So, all right, but think again. I don't know. He's not going to hide that hat. Let's see. Yes, Tracy. Okay, we're going to talk about that particular hat. Yes, a sidebar mini. You know what? We can go ahead. Let's go ahead and talk about it now. So you probably heard me pronounce it, and I think I've heard other people pronounce it this way, but I realized afterwards, maybe I've never actually heard anyone else say it, and so that's just why I pronounce it the way I do. I pronounced it last week, Musselburgh hat. Well, apparently that's not the correct pronunciation. So Barbara, thank you so much, Barbara, was kind enough to email me and say, you know, the designer is Olda Teague, and is that her? Because I watched a video with her in it, and I don't think this is her. I think this is somebody else, but that is a picture of the Musselburgh hat. Apparently Isolde is from Edinburgh, and this is pronounced Musselburgh. So, and by the way, just so y'all know, I'm not ever offended if you correct me or if I make a mistake or I always, like, I love to know the correct pronunciations of things. So as long as you do it kindly, with love in your heart, I will never be offended. You can always reach out. In fact, I love it when y'all periodically reach out anyway, because I have some customers that will order and I'm like, I have never heard from this person. They've never emailed me. They've never messaged me. They've never posted in the Swan City Stitchers. They've never commented on a live. Like, I want to know more about this person. So obviously I can't spend all my time on social media and reading messages and emails, but periodically it certainly doesn't hurt. So anyway, thank you, Barbara, for reaching out and letting me know that about this. So muscle burra. And yes, I am going to knit this. So Tracy, we can certainly have a little sidebar knit along going on. Something has developed though since last week. I don't think that we knew this at the time, but somehow our executive producer, Bo, has hijacked this project. And suddenly I'm making Bo a muscle burra hat. In fact, that was part of the reason for some of the there were only two one-of-a-kind colorways that are in the shop this week. So anyway, speaking about the muscle burra hat, so Isolde has a video talking about the pattern, which is very interesting because this is when you start getting into this, it's a very cool. I can see how it might be a little bit intimidating in multiple ways to a new knitter. First of all, the cast on is tricky, very fiddly. And she says it's a fiddly cast on, but it can be done. I mean, even experienced knitters have sometimes issues with fiddly cast ons and they have to redo it and try again until they get it right. And so that's all you have to do. But what I find interesting, and she even talks about this in her video, is that you pick the needle size that you want. And then she has a chart. So you don't have to do a gauge swatch, which I don't know about y'all. I don't typically do gauge swatches for hats anyway, because it's a smaller project. And since wool does have give, but it also tightens, there's a little more room for leeway. If you have a sweater, it's a big project and there's just more room for error there. But with a hat, I've never yet had a hat be, so far off that I couldn't wear it. Some people have. So obviously some people do need to do swatches, but she has written this pattern in such a way that you don't have to do a gauge swatch beforehand. You basically cast on, you knit until you have, in the pattern, you make increases. And then once you have like an inch of fabric, then you measure, and she has a chart that basically tells you how many more increase rounds you'll need to do based on how many stitches you got per inch. How awesome is that? Like, how spoiled can we be? And how much of a math genius must she be, or whoever did the grading for this pattern? Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's just very cool. So I'm definitely going to be casting on. If you're very unfamiliar with the muscle burra hat, one thing that I like, which is not evident here, but so many people have done different colors and will even stripe and make scrappy muscle burra hats. But she has a diagram, let me find it, that shows how you knit it. So you basically knit a tube. You start at one end and you knit down. And she shows you, like, if you want to, so it's also reversible because you're knitting in the round and you're knitting a tube. So you could basically have two different hats. So, and she shows you this is how it will work out, A and C. So if you're going to fold the brim, you want this section and this section to be the same, or know that those, when you fold the brim, that's what you're going to see. So you could do separate, colors, but you kind of want them to go together and not clash. And then the other set could be B and D, which I asked Bo about that. And he said, no, he said, I'm not going to fold the brim. I don't fold the brim on my hats. He will wear it like this. See how she has it there not folded. So I was like, oh, okay. So I could just literally knit half one color and then half another color. And when I was talking about the green, he has several green kind of khaki jackets. I don't know what man who lives in Florida needs several of them, but Bo has several green jackets. And he wants a hat to go with those. So that was, I think, what started him thinking that, oh, I want that hat. So yeah. All right. Sorry, I've kind of been missing your comment. Hey, Star, glad to have you here. And oh yes, Katrin, so you have done it. I like it. What is that, Lydia? No, I don't want to. I don't want to take a gander at that. But I think you should pronounce it for us and do a recording and post it in the Swan City Stitchers. Okay, yep, Bobby, I've made it with 2 different colors and patterns, stripes versus solid. I like that. Okay. All right, so it's a place in Wales. That's awesome. Okay. So Lydia, you made a great, oh, it made a great movie. Yes, once you get past the increases, absolutely. Okay, well, I'll just tell you this. By the way, the reason Bo has 2 of them, do you know what spurred that on? I have this grayish green jacket. Bo loves that thing. He is so envious of it that he has spent much time looking for a comparable men's jacket that he can wear. And I think if mine were big enough, he'd steal mine. I'm writing you out. All right. So anyway, the only thing that remains now is for me to dye up some yarn to match his jackets. So that is going to be my March project. I have a feeling with it being, even though it's stockinette, because it's long, I'm probably only going to knit one hat. Of course, I say that. You never know. Things always can change. So, but in the meantime, I have to dye up some yarn for Bo's hat. So we shall see what becomes of that. All right. Another announcement, Nash Yarn Fest. I did a post on City Stitchers, 2 places that Bo and I will be if you would like to join us. And some of you have already commented. I think everybody has commented, and I tagged those that I know are going. If I missed anybody, obviously feel free to reach out and come join us. Okay. All right. Yes, Bo has looked for over 2 years and cannot find a. I've had that thing since, gosh, it was the first time we were going to go to Scotland, which was what, 2019? That I first got that jacket. That was what I bought it for. And then ended up never using it because it's so lightweight that, yeah, I'll have to show you all a picture of it sometime. The jacket that has spurred all of this on. All right, let's go ahead and go through the mini whips. By the way, I just want to say this, and I did remember to say it in the newsletter, but I always forget to say it here. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all of you that post your projects, whether you post them online somewhere on your own page in the group, in the Stitchers group, or if you show them to people in person at a knit group, whatever. I just want to say thank you so much. You have no idea, as a business owner, that word of mouth, that's basically free advertising for me. And it's huge. And so thank you so much. I do appreciate that. And of course, I love to see your projects as well. But so for all the reasons, thank you. Okay, here we go. So Karen, this is the shawl, Winter Flowers, that she has started. And she's got Milo there, her little helper. How sweet. And it looks like a lot of stitch markers there, Karen. I'm curious, is it just a lot of pattern repeats? You'll have to tell us when you post an updated picture. Anyway, it's looking pretty good. And then this Tammy posted, I love this. In all the times that I have seen no limits used up, I don't think I've ever seen it pool quite like this. So I absolutely love that. And then Teal the Cows Come Home, I know she said the heel. and the ribbing, which matches beautifully. I love that so much. And then I think there's another pair of socks in here that are hers, but we'll get to them. Lydia made these awesome songbird mittens. She knit them up in trusty sock, and it's using Prim. That was one of the coordinating cousins a couple weeks ago, that blue, and then Swan white. And they are beautiful. Oh my gosh. I would have surely had a couple of mistakes in there, but I don't see any. Nicely done, Lydia. They're amazing. Oh, I love this picture. So Angie came to She Sells Yarn the last time that I did, it wasn't the last time I did a trunk show, but one of the times I did a trunk show, we did a sock blank dyeing class, and Angie dyed up, you can see in that bottom right-hand corner, she dyed up the stripes on her blank. And then that's how they knit up in her socks. And I love it. And I love the way that she laid it out, because now I can use her pictures in future classes, of course, to show people what they can expect. And they're beautiful. I love that so much. And then this is Kathy. She says it was hard to photograph. This was a 2024 Love You Weary colorway called Paging Mr. Darcy. I think I remember that. And the shawl is called Treasure Island. Very good. Oh, it's a crochet. I didn't realize that, but I can see that now looking at it. It's a crochet triangular shawl. So fast work indeed. I love it. All right. Jessica she bought a skein of each of the 4 Happy Hearts colorways, and she is doing your slip is showing. And I don't know, Jessica, you'll have to let us know when you post your updates if you're doing it the same. Well, actually, we might be able to tell. I'll be curious if she's doing the same color assignment that Michelle Browning did in her original. Interesting. Okay, but it's looking good. And then Bobby, I saw, and I think I glimpsed right before I came on, Bobby has posted an updated picture of this, by the way, and it looked like it was practically done. I'll have to go back and look, and I will capture pictures for next week. She said that her Lee is almost done, and I believe it is done now. She moved on to this. So she's using a Hallmark holiday with another, oh, my eyesight is so bad. Another, I think it's a mohair. Yeah, lace weight mohair. And it's the dance pullover. And it looks gorgeous. I love with that halo how it's impacting the color of a Hallmark holiday and making it much more of that very pale violet color. It's gorgeous. Okay. And then Tracy is doing, so Tracy finally got her yarn. Thank goodness. And this is that pink diamond colorway that I knit for her. And yep, she says it's like a floofy cloud of cotton candy. Don't I know it? And this is oh my gosh, I don't think I can read that with my eyes being so bad. What is that? Tinan? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Tracy. But it's by Kydri. I'll put it in the show notes in case anybody is looking for the pattern. I can't wait to see how that finishes up. But it's looking good now, and I know it's going to wear good. This is Vanessa from Knitcessities. I've said this before. She makes the best things. She got a couple of the fun and festive mini sets from me, and she has them in her shop. And she knit up a sample of fingerless gloves. I don't know that she mentioned the name of them, but she did say there's enough yarn in that mini set to make 3 pairs of those fingerless mitts. That's pretty awesome. I love it. All right, here's the other pair of socks from Tammy. So she is did use peppermint bark, the set, but she's calling it chocolate covered strawberries instead, which it kind of looks like. So very good. I like it. And then this, which everyone has been oohing and awing over, Michelle, who did the original Your Slip is Showing out of the Happy Hearts collection. She is what inspired that collection by putting all these colors together. She got each of the skeins again and is now making a 24 bird shawl. I tell you, some people just have a knack for putting colors together. And even within a project, you can put colors together in different orders. And she always just does such a beautiful job. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to see it finished. Oh, and then Laura, this is the Rocket Tea DK version, which I have to tell y'all, I was like, well, I made the Rocket Tea. I don't know that I need a DK version. But when I looked at the pattern, I'm like, ooh, I think I might need it because it's long sleeved and it's got these poofy sleeves that really elevate the pattern. So I cannot wait, Laura, to see this finished. I guarantee it's going to be gorgeous. And that is Swan Song, by the way, in Fluffy DK. And then Valera posted these gorgeous socks, almost finished. So she's probably finished today. And she's using Cat's Meow and Swan Song in Swanky DK. Although I happen to know that Trusty DK is her go-to. All right. And then Katrin posted this bad boy. She posted some other projects too. If you haven't seen her post, you need to go check it out. Katrin has a knack for, or maybe not a knack, a penchant for doing half and half, like color block projects. And then this is one of them. This is called the Till. It's a huge shawl. And she used, I kid you not, 150 grams of candy shards and 150 grams, I think Double Dutch is the brown there. How beautiful is that? Oh my gosh. And humongous. So yeah, so that one's called the Till. So yeah, it looks good. All right. I say that a lot, by the way. I noticed that I was watching something to get some information and I was like, okay, can I say all right anymore? Like those people who say like all the time, like, yeah, apparently that's my go-to saying, all right. Okay. Yes, Tracy. Yeah. By the way, in case y'all don't know, the original set of yarn just never showed up. So yeah, fingers crossed. I have to say, we have had very good luck. And our little post office, which is just 5 minutes up the road, they are the best. I mean, and I realized I knew, oh, look, there's my thing on Instagram finally showing up. Anyway, and I would go, I knew I was like, when I first had to start shipping, I was like, I sure hope this post office does good. I mean, I've always used them for other things, but having to go there on a regular basis to ship stuff out, I was like, oh no. I hope they're good and easy to work with. And they are, like, they know their stuff. They're friendly. They're just good people. So we really got lucky because otherwise I'd have to drive a good 20 minutes to get to, and there is another one in the other direction. I will say we are surrounded by many post offices by us. But anyway, it's nice to have one that's just 5 minutes up the road so that, because I can't tell you how many times it happens. I will literally, lately, most often it's Bo, will run to the post office and he walks out the door and I'll hear cha-ching and another order was placed. So it's nice to have them just 5 minutes up the road. Okay. I'm not going to say all right anymore. So let me show you what, hey, Karen, afternoon. I know it's morning for Anne and it'd be evening for you now, right? Okay. Let me show you what I've got done this week. I bound off on my ranunculus on the top. It looks awfully short. And I was like, let me lay it up against my other one to make sure, because I counted the rows and I knit the same, but it's going to grow just a tiny bit when I block it. So it's fine there because I do want it a little cropped. I always wear a shirt underneath my other one, and I will this one too. And I have started the one sleeve. I'm about halfway done with that bad boy. So I'm fingers crossed, maybe I'll finish this weekend. That would be awesome. And by the way, I was watching the Grocery Girls, their most recent podcast. I think so. Anyway, they were singing the praises of the ranunculus, and Tracy has did like 3 of them. And I was like, I knew it. I knew I was cool. I knew it. All right. And then I finished. Here they are, my wild and crazy apple of my eye socks. Okay. I will tell you, I learned something about myself. I'm a bit of a lazy knitter. But I think part of the problem is that for most often, my knitting time is restricted to the evenings. When my brain is tired, my body's tired, and I just want to get done. So sometimes when I weave in ends, I don't do it quite as well as I could. But I don't care. They'll wear the same, right? And I did get funky. These are not even quite, I mean, I don't know. Would you still call these sister socks? Because I definitely did them different. And I once again used the limeade to count my rows, to help me keep track of how many rows that I had. And my heel did turn out better this time. Do y'all remember last week? I think it was last week I showed you that my one looked a little funky because my wrap and turn was weird. But anyway, so I did do better, but I realized the pattern that I was using, it just didn't make any sense. So I will definitely be trying next the shadow wrap heel to see if I don't like it better. And with the way everyone sings its praises, I think I will. So yeah. But anyway, I'm excited. They fit good. They're comfortable. And I'm happy with them. So get to mark those off the list, and since I bound off a pair of socks, it means I get to cast on a pair of socks. No? Yes, it does. So I showed y'all last week the Fat Tuesday colorway. Well, I caked it up along with a skein of Bodacious and a skein of Gnarly. And I did actually I just started the cast on. I'll do 64 stitches for my sister-in-law. She has a size 8 foot just like I do, so I can basically make her the same size sock. So I'm making the puffle socks, and I'm going to use, obviously, Fat Tuesday will be the main color, and then Bodacious and Gnarly will be the 2 contrast colors. So I did notice that she calls for a 2.5 millimeter needle, which I don't know, is that a 1.5 US one? Because this is a 1, and I looked at it and it says 2.25 millimeter. She doesn't actually give the US size. Anyway, her cast on numbers are 48, 64, or 72. I always do 64 with a size 1. So I'm using a size 1 because that's my formula. Anyway, but I am excited to knit it. And and I haven't done anything with the cowl yet that we talked about. I feel like I can't have too many projects or I'll never make progress. And I want to get my ranunculus done before Nash Yarn Fest. So we'll see. Now, did you all see the new color work cuff club? I'm allowed to show this, right? She's released it. So this is what's her name? Summer Lee Designs. We've talked about this plenty of times, the color work cuff club that she does. And so this is March's sock, basically, which is cute. Half of a flower, a disappearing flower. I kind of like that. She probably has a video on it too, but I haven't watched that. I've watched some of her other videos, but I haven't gotten around to seeing if she did one for that. So, oh, thank you, Karen. That's awesome. I love it. Lydia, what yarn did you use? Oh, do you mean for the ranunculus? Sorry. So I'm using the same exact formula that I did for my last one. So I'm using 1 strand of, it's called, the colorway is a Hallmark Holiday. I'm using 1 strand of Swanky sock. And so, as I recall from the last time, unless my knitting gauge is different, I don't know. Do I have any more Hallmark Holiday on Swanky sock? I think I might back there. Is that what I'm looking at? I don't know. Anyway, The last time I only needed one skein since it's 150 grams of that. And I'm holding it with 2 strands of fluffy lace, which is basically the 65% Surrey alpaca and 35% silk. So it's very scrumptious. And of course, I will run out of those 2. So I have a 3rd skein. And when I get to that one, I'll just pull from the center and the outside because I won't need all of that. So yeah, that is what I am using. Sorry, I've talked about this pattern so much now that I tend to forget. People may not know what I used. And so with what I love about this pattern was a couple of things. First of all, when I wear my other ranunculus, it is the most recognized pattern out there. But a lot of people seem a little hesitant to knit it because of the gauge. But there's a lot of flexibility built into it. And you can obviously not make it near as loose and sheer as some of the pattern pictures show. So, you know, you see what I did. I'm using 3 strands and a size 10 needle. So it's working out great. And I also deleted a couple of the rows right before, actually up here, right before I bound off for the sleeves or the underarm because I didn't want any extra slouch. So, yeah. All right. What else? Okay, Anne says they are sister socks. I knew Anne would approve because she likes wild and crazy socks like I do. All right, what is in the shop? Well, let me tell you, some of it was in the newsletter and some of it wasn't so much. So there's a couple of one-of-a-kinds. I was playing around. These were mainly leftover liquid concentrates that I had, and I've been trying to make room in my dye drawers. So I was cleaning out some of my greens and playing around for a colorway for Bo for his Musselburgh hat. So this is the first one that I came up with, and it is called the Gory Details. This is it on Trusty DK. I think that is all that's left because I had 2 on Trusty Sock and both of those sold. So it's left now on Trusty DK. The other one, which is my favorite, is this one. It's a little limp because there's so much drape in this skein. This is on Silky Sock. This is called Narrow Margins. That actually would look really good for Bo's hat. Maybe I'll just pull these 2. I don't know. Anyway, there are still 2 skeins of that on Silky Sock. And I think there's still one left on Trusty Sock. So that is some good looking green right there. All right. So those are the 2 one-of-a-kinds that are in the shop. There is also a 1 skein of Mocha Mousse. Y'all remember that? Left in the shop. Trusty Sock. I think I dyed that up for me and then decided that I would put it in the shop. So it's in there. I dyed up some more vintage on Fluffy Lace. So that is in there. If y'all remember, I knit a cumulus holding 2 strands of that. It's gorgeous. There's also, I think I talked about this last week, but Pomp and Circumstance has been updated on a couple of bases. That's a nice full-on black, and then also Spindle Prick Red. Oh, I love that red. Hubba, hubba, hubba. It's a toss-up between that and Mail Pouches to my favorite red. Tell you what, those are good stuff right there. And then I've also updated the Happy Hearts collection. So if you were wanting anything from there, check now. So we've got Queen of Tarts over here, and then the nice pink is your blushing charcoal, and then Duke of Hastings is on there as well. All right. So those have been restocked also. And what I love about these is that really you can do any combination and they look good. There's Queen of Tarts and your blushing, but look at Queen of Tarts next to Duke or even charcoal. And then the same with your blushing next to charcoal or Duke of Hastings. It really pulls out those pinks. Yeah, all the things. All right. By the way, Knitcessities is getting, I think I mentioned this last week, but Knitcessities is getting a restock. I'm just checking one of my floats here. It's awfully long. Make sure I didn't ruin my shirt. No, it's good. And so tomorrow I will be dropping her order off to her. So I have a lot of the greens that we talked about last week, Shut-Eye Town, Limeade. And she's also getting a restock of some other colors, Bamboozled. She's getting her special, oh, I should have brought it in, her special colorway. We go together like Llama, Llama, Llama. It's a great colorway. That's is exclusive to Knitcessities. And what else is she getting? Cat's Meow, I think. Yep. She's getting Fat Tuesday. Yeah. She's getting some good colorways. Right. And then Knitcessities also, that's who I just said. Knit and Stitch over in Cocoa. They have some different colorways. If you liked the last Retro Rewind and its coordinating cousin, she has some of those over there. Invisible was the name of that colorway. And next week, 1 week from tomorrow, I will be at Crochet Aweigh in Tavares for a trunk show. And then the week after that is Nash Yarn Fest. So the week after, so not next week, I'll be here and in the dye studio. The week after that, because I'll be prepping for Nash Yarn Fest, so much yarn dyeing I will be doing. So if you have any special orders or anything like that that you want done up, now's the time to let me know. Because otherwise, you'll have to wait. Bo says lots of noise coming through. You know what? I think Morgan's thumping next door. Sorry, y'all. Should I do like the grocery girls and yell out, Morgan, I'm podcasting. I'll have to remind, I didn't remind her today like I normally do that I'm doing the live. But hey, Barbara, we were just talking about you. Casting on a muscle burra. Oh, and okay, that is her on the pattern. Yeah, I was going to say, kind of look like her, but her hair is different. So it is her. She has shorter hair now. Or, yeah, because she did that video after the fact. Yeah. I know, Diane, it's the best red, isn't it? All right. Let's see, Karen. Oh, that's right. Your endless wrap in Spindle Prick Red. Yet we're going to need to see a picture of that. Oh, it's my paper. I'm using a paper as, you hear it in court all the time, or I bet you do. Yeah, I'm using a paper as my mouse pad. Ask me why I don't just get a mouse pad. I don't know, because the only time I need it is on Friday, but I will get one. I apologize. Yep, it's the paper. It is. I know it. Bo, he takes care of everything. He's ordering me. Oh, Karen says when I lean forward. Yeah, I might be getting too close to the mic. I don't know. Anything's possible with me, technology and me. Oh, we are about to become the best of friends. That's all I know about that, because this relationship cannot continue as is. All right. I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one, and we will just go on. Okay. I'm just going to say, I think that's all I have. I'm at the end. I didn't go over all of my dates. I've got plenty of dates coming up in Georgia, Kentucky, and festivals. So I hope that you will. Oh, yes, that's right, Bo. It needs to have my logo on it. I know where you can get one of those. Anyway, but check the website, because I have graphics of all of those. I'm especially excited about, obviously, next week. And then also I'll be at She Sells Yarn at the beginning of April for their the yarn crawl. I'm dyeing up a special colorway for her. Ooh, dying to knit, people. Pay attention next week. I'm not sure what day, but I'll go live because I've got some fun things to show you all. I'm very excited. And yeah, I definitely need a mouse pad because part of the problem is that this paper doesn't even work well. It's like, yeah, I'm better off just using my mouse pad at this point. Anyway, I think that's all I have. So thank you all so much for joining me. Figure out what hat projects you're going to do. You can be in the cool, we're all in the cool club, let's be honest. But if you want to make a muscle burr hat with me and Tracy and Barbara, I would love that. I can't wait to see them all. And I cannot wait to see all of your projects. And yeah, try to have a great weekend. Get some knitting or crocheting or whatever in that you want to do. And I'll see you in the Swan City Stitchers, and I'll see you here next week for our next Friday Swan Roundup, since that's what we're now calling it. All right. Bye, everybody.